This week on Uncut Gems with Slim. A lot of times we be reactive or we be combative when it comes to things that really just need an answer. Happy Monday. I hope y'all are having a great day. This week we're continuing the conversation of change, decisions, and all those different kinds of things. And so, as you may know, decisions make up our daily life. How we react, what we willingly do, all those kind of things. Like every day we have to make decisions. Decision making is basically you making a choice and you choosing this or that. And it's really important to steward our choices because there's so much power in the choices that we make. Kind of similar to how they say, your vote counts. Like your decision making is like voting on how you want to live out your life. From the food you eat to the content you consume and all the exercise that you may or may not do, all of that boils down to your choices. So I want to encourage you guys to steward the choices that you make day in and day out, and that you make choices that push you towards a better way of living, a better life for yourself and your family. When it comes to decision making, the more efficient you become in stewarding your choices, the quicker you're able to respond. So I want to park right here for a little moment and talk about responding. So have you ever noticed how much time we waste when we tarry when it's time to make a decision? So for example, if I ask you what we eating for dinner tonight, it could be 6 o'clock and I ask everybody what they want to eat. Next thing I know, it'll be 2 hours later, we at the same restaurant eating the same thing that we normally eat because no one decided at 6 p.m. that we was going to Outback. There's no better example than deciding on what to eat. Like, I don't know about y'all, but deciding what to eat sometimes can be so hard, especially if you're deciding with a group of people. 9 times out of 10, you can ask what y'all want to eat. Nobody want to say what they want to eat because they want to make sure, everyone's catering to each other versus just saying, yeah, I want Outback. So we waste a lot of time just playing this game of, okay, well, who gonna actually say what they want to eat, or who actually got a taste for something? Everybody don't got a taste for nothing, so nobody want to eat. Like, all the time that we waste trying to make that decision could simply be condensed by just someone being like, hey, I want Logan's tonight. Like, y'all cool with that? It takes just one person to make that decision that can help narrow down the time that we waste in the decision-making process. Another thing when it comes to responding and making decisions, like, have you ever been in a meeting and someone asks a question, right? And then everyone starts to share opinions surrounding the question that was asked. So much so that y'all done got so far into y'all opinions about the question that was asked that y'all never get around to answering the actual question. Oftentimes we do a lot more reacting to situations than we do resolving and answering them. And so I want to work on our response being more active. And I feel like one way that you can effectively make better decisions and be a little bit more efficient in your decision making is by increasing your awareness. And so increasing your awareness meaning like, okay, if someone prompts a question, like being aware of what the question is so you don't get too far-fetched into the what ifs, the reactions to the question, and you lean more into the resolution to the question at hand or the decision that needs to be made. So when it comes to making decisions, you want to think about what are the possible outcomes? How will my response impact those around me? And what is the most effective solution? So a lot of times we go into things and we're like, okay, well, sis, like, I don't know what you want me to say. Or, I hear you. What? Like, a lot of times we be reactive or we be combative when it comes to things that really just need an answer. And a lot of times, like I said last week, we do a whole bunch of worrying, we do a whole bunch of crying when things don't go our way. But we can save a lot of that time and energy and trauma by just answering the question, by just making the decision and just like figuring out what is the solution to the problem. And so I feel like when you tap into your awareness of situations and your decision making, you're able to make better and more efficient decisions. So a practical example would be like if you had a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do during the day. Once you get home, you got even more work to do. And so you decide like, okay, when I'm on the way home from work, I'm gonna pick me up something to eat for dinner. So when I get home, I can do the rest of the work that I have to do and not have to worry about, cooking and doing all these things. That's a practical example of how you can make an efficient decision. Because although it may be, more cost effective if you cook at night, if you're thinking about the things that you actually have to do, how much time that takes, you will better steward your time by just picking up something to eat on the way home. So then maybe you can multitask, eat your food that you bought while you're doing some of your work, and then it's a little bit more efficient than if you was like, oh well, I'll just cook me something when I get home, and then like you pushing your bedtime back because you gotta cook, you gotta do XYZ. I'm single, I ain't got no kids, so I ain't got nobody to take care of besides myself. But even then, I can either be efficient or I can just try to do it all. But even then, small decisions like that can help me steward my time better, and it can help me just resolve the question of the day. Am I gonna get the work that I need to get done? Okay, how do I get it done quickly, efficiently, blase, without compromising other things? So I know sometimes I'll be working a lot at home, just working, and I forget to eat, or I miss a meal or something like that. So it's very efficient for me to eat while I work, or different things like that. So if it is easier for me to pick up something to eat, now I'm not saying I eat out every day, but if it's easier for me to pick up something to eat on the way home, or meal prep on the weekend, so during the week I could just pop my food in the microwave, eat it while I'm doing my work. Like, those are different practical ways that you can be more efficient with your time. I was reading this financial book, and another practical example was they was talking about saving money on gas. And I didn't think about it too much like this until I read this book, and it was saying how like when you need to basically like kind of plan your errands together instead of like just oh, I need this, so I'm gonna run to the store, or I need that and I need to run to the store, versus like, okay, we gonna go grocery shopping on this day, I'm gonna do it on the way home from work, so it's already in my route, I'm not using any additional gas for my Tesla folks, any charge, going out the way. And then also just planning your errands in regards to their location, so you're not like double backing and doing all this excessive driving to save a few coins. And I say, that's smart. So just applying that kind of practical knowledge to your daily life is gonna really help enhance your days and help you optimize like your day-to-day task, and you'll feel a lot more accomplished at the end of the day if you make these decisions that help you be more efficient on a daily basis. So this week's challenge is, the next time someone asks you what to eat, decide. Now, I don't know if somebody be asking you what to eat often, but the next time somebody asks you what to eat, or like a direct question that you can give them a direct answer, I want you to decide. I want you to say what you want to do, and say it boldly, and deliver it well, but say it boldly. Give them a straight answer. Tell them the place you want to eat. Don't give any options. Decide on one place and stick with it. And I think this is a great example and a great challenge to help us be more firm in our decisions, because I feel like sometimes we like to water down our decisions and our choices so it can be easier for other people to digest. Like, no, stand firm in your decision, be bold about it, and that's no problem. You could say, well, I want tacos tonight. Okay, the other person can be like, I don't want tacos. That's okay. You still made a decision. You can compromise from there, but making the decision is very important. And it's an area where I feel like a lot of us can improve on, because indecisiveness just done plague this generation, baby. Nobody know what they want to do. Nobody know nothing. But we got options, but we don't know nothing. So I want to encourage you guys to make the choice. Decide. If there's been something that you've been contemplating back and forth about, decide today. We gonna do it. We not gonna do it. We gonna do this. We not gonna do that. Like, decide. And I'm gonna take it a step further. Every day this week, I want you to make a definitive decision on something, whether that be what you want to eat, what you want to do that day, like whatever it be. Make a definitive decision and stick with it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at Uncut Gems with Slim. And until next week.